In a world of constant sound, Echo, a magnificent golden Labrador, lived in profound silence. Born deaf, his universe was painted with vibrations, scents, and sights that most of us overlook. His human family, the Millers, adopted him, knowing his special needs, and they quickly learned that what Echo lacked in hearing, he more than made up for with an astonishing sensitivity to the world around him. That night, as the Millers settled into their quiet, predictable evening, enjoying the soft hum of the television and the crackle of the fireplace, a profound shift occurred. Echo, who had been curled in a deep, contented sleep by the hearth, rose abruptly. His relaxed posture stiffened, his golden tan fur bristling imperceptibly along his spine. A low, guttural whine, so soft it was barely audible, rumbled deep in his powerful chest, a raw, unsettling sound the Millers rarely, if ever, heard. His head cocked with desperate intensity, straining to feel a frequency far beyond human perception, a silent alarm ringing only in his world. The Millers exchanged puzzled glances, a cold knot forming in their stomachs, sensing a subtle, unsettling shift in the room's peaceful atmosphere, but unable to pinpoint its true source or meaning. He began to pace, not with his usual playful energy, but with a stiff-legged, almost robotic urgency, a clear sign of primal alarm. His powerful frame moved with uncharacteristic tension, a coiled readiness as he circled the living room in tight, agitated loops. His keen nose twitched frantically, pressing against the polished floorboards, then lifting abruptly, sniffing for something intangible in the air, a scent of impending doom only he could detect. He moved from window to window, his usually calm eyes darting wildly into the inky blackness, searching for a threat only he perceived. His distress grew visibly each second, his silent world consumed by an unseen urgency that left the Millers increasingly unsettled, a chilling premonition starting to seep into their own minds. Echo's agitation escalated rapidly, transforming from mere restlessness into palpable, undeniable anxiety that now filled the entire room. He nudged Mr. Miller's hand with his wet nose, an insistent bump, then pawed repeatedly and forcefully at his arm, his actions growing increasingly desperate, almost frantic. He tried to guide them, pulling gently yet firmly at their clothes, his powerful body language conveying an unequivocal message. His gentle nature was completely overshadowed by an urgent, unwavering resolve, a primal instinct taking over. His silent world was now overwhelmed by an unseen terror, a looming catastrophe he desperately needed his family to acknowledge and escape, a silent scream for them to move. His intelligent eyes, usually calm and warm, now darted wildly around the room, fixed on nothing visible to human sight, but clearly perceiving something profound, terrifying, and imminent. He'd pause abruptly, head low, then snap it up with a jolt, as if an intense vibration had seized him from deep underground, rattling his very bones and sending a jolt of primal fear through his powerful frame. The Millers watched, a cold dread beginning to tighten in their chests as Echo trembled, his entire being tuned to a frequency they couldn't register. It was a silent plea, a desperate, wordless attempt to communicate an urgent, life-saving message that only he, with his uniquely amplified senses, could grasp, a terrifying whisper of an impending cataclysm. He then dropped dramatically to the floor, flattening his muscular body, head low, almost touching the ground, ears flattened back defensively. His entire posture conveyed a primal, ancient instinct to brace for an unseen impact, to become one with the earth, yet simultaneously to escape its imminent wrath. It was as if he was trying to meld into the very foundations of the house, seeking both protection and an exit. A subtle but unmistakable trembling began to run through his powerful frame, a deep internal shiver, visible even through his thick, golden coat, a chilling premonition of the cataclysm he knew was about to unfold. The Millers exchanged worried glances, their initial confusion now morphing into genuine alarm at the sheer depth of Echo's terror. Then Echo let out a series of urgent, silent barks, fierce, guttural vocalizations that conveyed sheer panic and profound fear, even without producing an audible sound. His powerful chest heaved, his throat convulsing as if trying to scream, yet only silence emerged. His entire body language screamed danger, a silent cacophony of alarm. He moved decisively to the main doorway, his powerful muscles coiled and tense, his movements sharp, purposeful. He looked back at his bewildered family with wide, pleading eyes, a desperate urgency burning within them, then pointedly towards the outside, a clear, insistent life or death invitation. He nudged the door with his nose, then scratched at it, a silent but unmistakable command. Despite Echo's clear, escalating distress and frantic attempts to lead them, the Millers hesitated, grappling with profound disbelief and a sense of growing unease. Mrs. Miller knelt, her brow furrowed with concern, trying to soothe him, speaking words he couldn't hear, her voice a gentle, unheard murmur. But Echo was beyond comfort, his focus unwavering, his entire being consumed by the unseen threat. To them, there was no visible threat, no siren blared. The house was utterly still, the night outside perfectly quiet, deceptively calm. It felt utterly absurd, almost foolish to abandon the perceived safety of their warm home based solely on their deaf dog's sudden, inexplicable, and increasingly frantic behavior. Yet a primal fear began to gnaw at their composure. They tried desperately to coax him back, offering his favorite squeaky toy, then savory treats, but Echo refused to be appeased or distracted. He ignored the familiar comforts, his focus absolute, his mission crystal clear, his resolve unshakable, a force of nature against their human logic. He stood his ground, a rigid, unyielding sentinel at the threshold, his golden fur glowing faintly in the dim ambient light, an anchor against their mounting skepticism and rationalizations. His gaze was unwavering, a silent, desperate plea etched into every tense line of his muscular body, demanding their attention, demanding immediate, unquestioning action, a silent battle of wills playing out in the quiet house. Mr. Miller sighed deeply, running a hand through his hair, his voice laced with a hint of frustration. "Echo, come on, boy, what's gotten into you? You're scaring us," he murmured. Mrs. Miller suggested perhaps he'd heard a distant animal, or maybe it was a sudden upset stomach, trying desperately to rationalize the inexplicable. But as they spoke, Echo would just let out another silent bark, a sharp, insistent movement towards the door, his eyes wide with an intensity that began to pierce through their disbelief. His relentless persistence was beginning to wear down their resolve, replacing their initial confusion with a creeping, undeniable sense of dread that something truly was wrong, something beyond their understanding, yet utterly real to their loyal companion. What an incredible testament to the unique bond between humans and their loyal companions. Echo's story reminds us that our pets perceive the world in ways we can only imagine. If this silent hero touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Snug Tales for more inspiring stories. Thank you.